Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wolf and I'm casting a game between SaniShahin and Darkomicron, which actually says Magnus, but that's actually Dark, and this is going to be for the Raven Wolf StarCraft and Pyrrhic StarCraft tournament. Unfortunately Pyrrhic is dead, so yes, and I didn't send myself to busy. Kokoro said he would spam my chat here, so let's hope he does that because he's so funny. Anyway, we have PvP finals. It's going to be a best of 5, and I'm going to be casting them back to back. It's not like I'm trying to get views from you guys anyway, so I'll just cast all 5 games back to back. 3 to 5, I suppose. 3 to 5 games back to back, and there'll just be like a quick, segment of not there. So, and there's something I wanted to say. I can't remember right now, so I'm just going to call him Sani, I guess. Sani and Dark. It's a lot harder to say it when I actually say it. I've always thought of it to be a lot easier to say. Whatever, it's fine. We got it on Sakura's. Dark is scouting more average at 12, and Sani is not. He's just not scouting, is he? That's very bold of him. This would be 500 wins there, so very nice. I think, actually, although Magnus may not have it, I think Dark has over 500 wins. I think he actually is pretty close to 750 wins. So, and I'm pretty sure Sani chose this map because I told them to the lower ranked player based on points would choose the map first. And I know that Sani really likes Sakura, so he probably chose this map. And now he knows where he is. That's going to kind of give him an advantage. He could do a more aggressive opening. Sani can't really do that because he doesn't know where Dark is. He might actually be a little bit delayed for that. And, yeah, still kind of staring. Let's get that production tab up. I always forget about that. Dark's got his assimilator coming quite a bit earlier. That's just because, yeah, Sani's just macro failing. Which, no, his was already done. Okay, never mind. I guess I'm very bad at this. So both players are pretty much the same. If we look at the units tab, yeah, Dark would be ahead by probably like 1 probe. A little bit ahead of a probe, but he also had a delayed gas. We can see that difference there, so not too much of a difference for the players. Shouldn't be too bad. Shani's already getting his first zealot. I guess Dark chose to not get his first zealot and going for another gateway first. So Sani's going to have pretty good defense at the beginning points of the game, but Dark is going to have more production, so hopefully Sani notices this and he could actually kind of get an early attack or a fast expand. Probably better for fast expand, but and there's his zealot being done, going to go wall off against the Zerglings, those little dogs, and Dark is microing his probe like a boss to try to kill this pylon. So, and he's stealing a gas. It's kind of cool. That's very unique. So unfortunately, the warp mechanic is not going to help him out here. The other 2 races steal gas a lot better, even though our simulators have a lot more HP. It's just more. I mean, extractors are so cheap, and refineries can be canceled after you start building them. So I do think that Protoss does not have an advantage when stealing gas. I think it's interesting that Dark, let's see, he had the later assimilator, so he's not even using it though right now. He could actually use that gas a lot. He's going to have to build, he just made 2 stalkers, so he's not doing too bad on gas. I'm surprised he doesn't get some guys in it, but he knows what he's doing except for his chrono boost, and he's admitted that he's very bad at using chrono boost. He queues up 2 probes. I think he just used it. No, I mean, like, this is perfect timing to use it. He should definitely be using his chrono boost, but he does need to work on that. That's very honest criticism from Icefang here. Going 2 gates, 1 gate into Twilight, and then another gateway. So Shini's going to go pretty heavy on the Blink Stalkers, I assume, or his charge. But generally, Blink is just better in PvP. Charge can be good, but since most games kind of tend to favor Colossus as the game continues, that kind of just gets you boned. And Dark's warp gate's ahead by about 15 seconds. That will make an important difference. It's only how long it takes. First thing he does is start off with Blink, and that's very good. It's not going to take that long, only 110 seconds. So, only 110 seconds, only 2 minutes. And let's see, Magnus. Oh, that's why it wasn't even similar. It was. I know you guys probably knew that. It's very stupid of me. So, I actually watched the replay. I thought he was like harassing himself. I was kind of confused, but anyway, sorry about that. That's why. So he had a gas deficiency, and he definitely made the right choice by not teching up and kind of going for more 4 gates here. It wasn't 4 gate rush though. It was just 4 gateways. Doom Dash invited me. Okay, I'll have to talk to him after this. He'll probably say some stupid Terran things. Terran forever. Hail Terran. Blink. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and Cronus. So he should be ready for the time these Stalkers get over. Unfortunately, this is kind of the point in the game where the advantage is in Dark's favor. His production facilities have been... You guys can see the difference, 2 gates versus 3 gates. And I mean, Dark even has a 4th gateway. There's a proxy pylon for Shani. Unfortunately, that had to get cancelled. Here's the main point of the action. He really needs Blink, and he really needs to abuse Micro, especially at this high ground area, to be able to survive against this many Stalkers. Dark is just kind of macroing like a king right now. Have at you, Snake. Yeah. Anyway, he's just macroing like a king right now, doing a very good job of that. Sani just wasted his Blink, actually, which was really bad. I mean, if Dark had moved up right then he'd be in a lot of trouble. But, I mean, perfect macro by Dark here. He's using really good unit control for his Stalkers. He doesn't need Blink. He's a boss. And now he's actually outnumbered Sani with his Stalker account. And he can use Blink to give his Stalkers, you know, like 1.5 times HP. Unfortunately, though, there's just pure macro up here. And then Dark has his Proxy Pylon warping in. So that's going to be really bad. Going to warp in probably 3 Stalkers immediately. Sani's facing much bigger odds. He does have a chance with Blink, but he needs to warp in as many Stalkers as he can and try to Blink. Pretty nice micro by both players. Unfortunately, I think that no matter how well Sani blinks, it's just not enough. You know, it's just, yeah, GG from Sani. Okay, so that's game 1, Dark's favor. It's currently 1-0 Dark, and I'll see you guys for the next game. I guess that makes sense. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 here. Dark, Sani, close positions, or I guess close air positions on Metalopolis, which is an okay map. If you guys didn't know, the map pool consisted of maps that were allowed before a couple patches ago, because that's just how long it's been. I don't want to change the map pool up. And I just noticed the supply depots here. I assume they're there so you can't block off Zergs at the bottom of the ramp, but I'm not really sure. This should be, I think MLG still uses this map, and I guess they know what they're doing. I hope so. But we have another, I guess they're all going to be PvPs, aren't they? That doesn't even make sense. Whatever, doesn't have to make sense. I'm casting the game. I never make sense. And yeah, close air positions. I think it's interesting that Dark scouted over here first, and that would mean that he's probably thinking of doing, actually that's just a really early scout, isn't it? So either he's thinking of doing some like really early expansion, like a 15 or 16 Nexus, just to, if they were opposite spawns, I guess he would work on the distance to be the thing that would protect him the most. Or he's sending a really early scout to do some kind of cheese, which is pretty gross. It's actually pretty common. It's not uncommon, I guess to say, to see Protoss, what's it called? Not Protoss, just players in general, when they lose the first game, for them to come back with cheese. You know, it's kind of like quick and random. Like hopefully I get lucky and we're back to even square footing here. Dark, however, won the last game, and now he's kind of taking his advantage of something risky, and I guess it might pay off. Unfortunately, it looks like Sani's going to see this, and that's really going to screw it up for him. I think it's funny that he had his probe on attack move. So he was prepared for this, and Sani should be able to hold this off just by choosing the right amount of probes. If he was me, he'd probably be dead. Actually, when you're playing, I know that you don't want to actually hit the pylons with your probes because it takes a long time to kill them. You want to use... what is it called? You want to kill the cannons, because cannons only have 300 HP compared to pylons 400, and it actually makes a pretty big difference. So there's the cannon coming down, and as soon as Sani sees this, he should actually just focus on that, and he'll be able to kill it really easily. And he actually just GG's. So I don't know why exactly he wasn't that far behind. I guess yeah. If this probe had been up in here and could have started warping another cannon, it might have been worth it. He's not really mining that much most of his macro, but he was kind of far behind, especially because he doesn't have his tech going up at all. So second game lost for Dark, and now it's a 1-1 in the game series. All right, we got game 3 here on Teldarim Altar. Dark is at the top left versus Sani, who's in the bottom left. I want to say like bottom, whatever. And interesting choice of map here for Dark. I find it kind of just. He might have chose a larger macro map. I think Sani actually prefers macro games or 4-gating, but he chooses this. This is the biggest map in the map pool, I think. So generally, it favors macro. And I actually don't know how Dark likes to play, so he might have chosen this map and just prefers to play macro as well. Macro toss is impossible to play, so it's just 4 gates for us in Colossus. That's why PvP is like the truth, you know. all you do is 4 gates and Colossus. And let's get that production tab up. I always forget that right when the game starts. So yep, game 3. Currently it's 1-1, and yeah, first game Dark won with just better macro and a ton of stalkers. Even though Sani had blink stalkers, he just didn't have enough. And Dark still had good micro with his non-blink stalkers. And second game, Dark won. Dark lost because he failed his cannon cheesy poop stuff. So that made me displeased actually to see cannon game. When it started up, I'm like, 3 minutes. Wow, that's really short. And most of you guys will probably think, wow, the whole video is fairly short because of the 3-minute segment in there, and you'll think it's just 3 games, but it's actually more than that. So, I guess it'd have to be more than 3 games though, because both players won one. So whatever. I love seeing this. I like seeing mirrors, how you know, they're off by just a few seconds. It kind of determines which player is in the lead, even by just a few seconds at the beginning of the game. And right now, I think, yeah, they have the same amount of probes, production, and I mean, they have like the exact same build orders. I think it's cool to see that. And I've seen a couple mirror match replays between myself and Sword X Shield, where him and his opponent will start building something at the exact same time, and you get to see it build up at the exact same time. It's just cool. Cool for me. Cool for Crazy Ice Fang. And both players will take a while to scout each other. They're both going around the distances, so that should probably favor macro. It's hard to plan for some aggressive builds when you don't know where your opponent is yet. Of course, I guess by the time they see the second base, they should know where their opponent is. Unless they spawn on top of each other. This is kind of a telltale here. If Sani's building up his Chrono Boost, that usually means 4 gate. That means he's going to wait. As soon as this is done, he's going to start off Warp Gate research, and he's just going to Chrono the crap out of it. Dark is just building up his Chrono because he needs to use it better. And I think that's actually really key. Small advantages in mirror matchups can make the game, you know. And so if he uses Chrono Boost a lot better, then he'd be a lot better at PvP. I do believe that's my belief there. He's got a pylon hiding out over here, so he's probably going to proxy. Well, not proxy. He's going to hide some tech. Proxy some tech. That's a good proxy, Dark. You should probably move it a bit closer over here. Yeah, and just starting up the game. This is actually really big. If your opponent is Chrono boosting, if you see a Warp Gate being Chrono boosted and you're not killing him, then he's probably going to be 4-gating you. So that's really important to look for when you're playing against other Protoss, or like just Protoss in general. You see Chrono boost building up, you see it using on the Cybernetics core. That does mean Warp Gate tech, and that means he's going to be 4-gating you, or trying to defend himself. But usually they're trying to kill you. That's just how. That's the point of the game. Someone told me that the point of the game is trying to kill your opponent. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And of course, we can see here, personally, that he's kind of building up minerals and gas right now. So he's intending to use it as soon as they change into warp gates. It's of course, Dark can't see that, but we know that he's going to be 4-gating now. He's setting a probe to go build his proxy pylon. Dark is not ready. I'm a noob, but I always place my scouting worker right here and forget to scout with it later. And that's always, it is nice to use one of your probes just by one of the Zelnaga watchtowers. It does help out quite a bit. Unfortunately, he takes 3 probes. This is definitely all inish. And yeah, he's got his pylon going down. Unfortunately, if this had been a robotics and he had got an immortal out, it could have been different, you know. I guess the game was kind of freezing there. And he's going to go for a Void Ray, so he's got a slight chance of holding this off, but Sani's just going to have more units at this point, and he's going to probably, yeah, he's going to have more units going on. So there's a lot of stalkers here. If there was an immortal out, that would probably be enough to hold this off. Unfortunately, that one sentry gets immediately picked off, and I hate that when you're not on your units and they just die. Warping in 4 more zealots, and this is really going to be helpful. They just took out the probes there. I guess that's kind of funny. And unfortunately, hitting right there. If all 4 of his zealots could have fought, that might have made a difference there. But yeah, there's just too many stalkers now with some really easy move back micro. Kiting, that's what it's called. It's not move back micro. And some zealots now to protect him, so he doesn't have to do that anymore. The Voiders can do fairly well against stalkers. Of course, it's armored on armored. They both have advantages against each other, but the stalkers are more cost effective. So generally, unless your Void Ray's charged up, which he's trying to do, it won't work. But unfortunately, he's going to focus fire the poor Void Ray that's slow. What he really, oh, there we go. He actually did do it. So he did manage to keep his charge, but it's just too much, and that's probably going to be the GG there. Go probes! Oh, if he could have held on to the charge there, and he accidentally started focusing on the probes, he might have had a chance, but that's definitely going to be GG. He's lost too much mining time there, and yeah, he's just got too many stalkers hanging around in his base. As soon as he kills his pylon, it's definitely GG, because that means he can't make more units. And yeah, that's kind of sad, Panda. I was hoping that the PTR, well, not the PTR, it was going to be PTR, but it didn't have to be because it went through. I was really hoping that there wouldn't be much foregating going on, but I guess it's still a viable strategy. I guess I'm very wrong about pylon placement. That was a good pylon placement. That's the last thing I get to say about this game. Good pylon placement by Dark. Oh, it's so just gross to watch. He's like, I will micro like a king, but it doesn't matter. You just have more units than me. I mean, look. What the hell? GG. I thought it was ironic that the other two games when the players GG, they put a little sideways D face, you know, like this. But third game, 4-gate. Dark is getting angry. He's raging. He's going to rage quit on this. Wait, you guys aren't supposed to see this part. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth game for Dark versus Sani on a map I can't name. I don't think it was on the map pool. I might have made a mistake and accidentally put it there, but I can't name this map. I know most of you probably can. It doesn't look familiar to me at all. It might be. I mean, I've vetoed some ladder maps and I've started laddering some more, but these just don't. This doesn't look familiar to me. So we're gonna call it Planet X, which reminds me of a school project I did once. And yep, I'm gonna practice my APM when the game starts just as much as possible. We can check that out actually. Dark's APM is a sad 190 when Sani's just a pathetic 150. I mean, for me, I'm like power overwhelming, infinite APM. Let's see. Last game was a 4-gate, wasn't it? Dark is like, well, I guess you guys can't see my face, but it was the Inklep summon face. Last game was a 4-gate, wasn't it? Maybe. Troll face. Troll face right here. Inklep summoned. Troll face. Can't reveal that info, sorry. And that was just super troll face. And I think it's kind of funny that if they had played earlier on the PTR, that would have made that game completely different. Because Dark is right. It would have been 40 seconds, and that would have added 20 seconds. That's probably all he needed. That Void Ray would have been out and ready to go. His units would have had more focus on them. So I'm actually surprised that that would have made an important difference. But that's just how it is. If they had played earlier, they could have played on PTR. They could have still played on PTR if they could have. I would have let them. Probably preferred it, actually. I do wish they had kept Warp Gate up another 20 seconds. It's not like it's important for early game. I mean, hell, myself, when I play, I just ignore warp gates and get it as the game continues. I'm like, oh, I'm starting to build up a little bit of minerals and gas, and because I'm not very good, that means a lot of minerals and gas. I'm like, oh, well, I'll just make warp gates because that shaves 5 seconds off, and then I'll chrono the crap out of them because I'm building up chrono boost and I suck. But whatever, it's okay to suck. We'll go back to the production tab. So Dark is definitely angry right now. I can tell because of the way he's playing. When he has actually, he doesn't have a... I guess they both don't have Cybernetics cores. Whatever. I'm a little off a couple minutes now. I think the game's kind of transitioning into mid-game already. And I know he's mad because he put his pylon right here, and that's an angry pylon. If you put your pylon to the left of the Nexus at the same bottom area, then you're angry. And so that means, if it's like up here, that means happy, and this means indifferent. This means angry, though. It's just a little bit about Protoss for you. It's either on the left or the right side, so... Yep, that's the secret way that Protoss feel. You can tell by the way they place their pylons. I mean, Sani right here, he's angry too, because he's just mad because he 4-gated and he hates himself. He's gone crazy. Okay, so yep, Sani's perfect macro here. I really love to see them when they're down in the 10s. It's just so sexy to me. I would love to date these Protoss players. I'm totally into that. Protoss on Protoss action. Protoss on Terran action. Yeah. It's gross. It's very gross. So he's building up his chrono boost, so that actually might be just a mistake of Dark. He needs to really chrono boost better. But I suspect him to kind of notice that he's full, and he actually just used 2. Okay, yeah, so I thought he used them both on his Cybernetics. So he's trying to get his Warp Gate tech done earlier. I guess he's kind of wary of proxy pylons, and I have to say that to protect yourself better from proxies and 4-gates, you really want to take this... whatever. The ground's kind of cool out here. You really want to take the center point here. So To tell you the truth, I think Sani's 4-gating again, which makes me sad, Panda. Well, whatever, though. It's fine. So this series, we've seen the first game, which was Stalkers versus Blink Stalkers. Second game was Cannons. The third game and fourth game were both 4-gates. I am most displeased. I am not pleased at all. But let's see. This should be a Robo. So he's trying to get a Robo out. This is going to be kind of different from the first game. He does see these units around with his Stalker, and he really wants to protect his Stalker, so he's got to get back to base. Oh man, if he had seen that, it wouldn't have really helped. He would have just got slaughtered from all the units that came out of it. It's not like he can kill it in time. So we have Probe on Sentry action. There goes the pylon. That's really sad, actually. And unfortunately, he uses Chrono Boost on the Cybernetics core, and it's not paying off. His his Warp Gate tech is not close to being done. He's got 2 sentries trying to kill a Stalker. Oh man, the worst thing is the Stalker's buying time for this pylon. Once the pylon's done, that's definitely game over. It's just going to warp in 4 more Stalkers. Zealots, I mean. Yep, sad day. 4-gate for the win. For the lose. He's trying to get an Immortal out. Now it actually wouldn't help him. Should really be making Colossus at this point in the game. 6 minutes in. And Dark is, I think it's kind of sad. These poor little probies are just trying to mine. They're like, let's just mine forever. And the Zealots are like, get out of my way, bitch. And they just grab them and they stab their blades in their foreheads until they die. I mean, probes have pretty big foreheads, so they're kind of like elites from Halo. And extremely good micro by poor Dark, but it's just not enough. I mean, 3 Zealots will beat a single Stalker, especially one that kind of jumbles around in there. And I mean, when you look down here, you're like, oh man, they're kind of holding off. This is like holding off goodness. And then you look up here, and it's just like ... Yeah, so that's it. That's all that the game had to offer. Sani was right. I shouldn't have casted these games, but whatever. I did. You guys get to see it. You get to leave hateful comments below, because I like hateful comments. That was very sad. Kokoro told me today that's all Sani does is 4-gate. I kind of believe him now, but I have to assume he doesn't just do that. And that's it. Sani wins 3-1. Very sad. I'm very sad now. I mean, yeah, I am disappointed. That's all I'm gonna say. Goodbye, everyone. I am disappointed. Very disappointed.